everyone. Welcome one more time to Football Talks 101. My name is Marko Matushinsky. I'm your host as always. And today with us we have Stipo Dajaković, who is an experienced strength conditioning coach. But before that, he is my colleague and my friend. He have a huge experience in working with football teams, individual players. But Stipe, welcome to this episode.
First of all, hello to everybody, and thank you, Marco, for invitation. As you mentioned, we are colleagues for more than 10 years, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, especially because you share the same, I will say, experience and knowledge, like myself. A little bit about me. Used to be just a personal coach of the athletes, then switched to a strength acquisition coach in football. Now, more than 8 years I'm in football. I used to work in the third division, second division, first division of Croatia, and a few international teams in Bosnia, Cyprus, and so on. Recently, I got my PhD in sports science and used to be a lecturer on Faculty of Kinesiology for more than 6 years. So generally, I'm in strength and condition more than 12 years now, and this is the way I live, and this is what I like to do.
Like I said, you have an amazing experience, and I definitely like the part where you combine sports science, you pursued for the PhD, but also you have a great practical knowledge. And also already you share your experience. And before we start with the topics that we listed here, just one quick question for this PhD and practical role. How this uh, how this PhD pursuit and your science background help you in your daily work with teams and players?
Well, actually, it's a pretty good question. When you work in science every day, science push you to learn, to read, and to explore. Practical part of the job push you to try something new. Okay, so when you combine the research part and the practical, I would say practical science, and when you do on the field, you can see what is good and what you can use on daily basis, and what knowledge you can, I will say, sometimes skip. Okay, and for my PhD, the idea was also from the practical part of my work, because I saw some different things during the work with athletes, that if I choose a little bit differently, for example, I choose different tool, I will have different adaptation. But when you look at the science as a scientist, you cannot find the exact knowledge, the exact research who will say, okay, you are on a good way, stay in that lane and you will be good with that tool. So basically, I saw it on the pitch, okay, I need to change something, but I don't have a proof that it will be good. And that's why I do my PhD research and get some results that I hope in a couple of months I will publish some more scientific paper about my PhD, in which I will show that if you do practically something different, that you can have different adaptation in sprint and jump performance. That is the most important part of the sports generally.
That sounds quite interesting, and I really like how you explained the sports science part, how it help you getting better questions, but also without art on the pitch, where you are trying things I think that it's a great combination of these both things, like strength conditioning coaches today, or the role of sports scientists, how they like to call it right now. It started to make a huge impact on football and also on football in Balkan countries and in Croatia. And as you mentioned, it's good that you mentioned and you start with sprinting and jumping, and this can be our first topic for today, like preseason testing and programming. I know that now you are in preseason with your team. Am I right?
Yeah, we just started today, so it's first day. We will see how it will go.
Perfect. Now everything is good. Now everything is good. The first day is this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything is amazing now, and it's my I don't know eighth or ninth preseason that I'm doing with the club.
So yeah, then you definitely had an amazing experience in planning preseason testing. So what is your approach to preseason testing? You know, what kind of test do you prioritize? What kind of variables do you use? And how do you use this data, let's say in jumping, sprinting, and endurance, in creating training programs?
Okay, so first of all, I will split it into groups. Group A is football on high level, but it's still not elite level. For example, football high level, you have only one strength and condition coach, and you are not, you cannot have them for athletes for 8 hours in a club. That's A group, and Group B is elite level. Like you have in Croatia, Dinamo, Hajduk, and so on. On League 5, you have Bayern Munich, and so on. Why I split them? Because if I have A group, I will do simple testing. Like I will do for endurance, I always use 30-15 intermittent fitness test because it's easy to do with a lot of players, and you have exact number, exact value, which you can use just for programming high intensity interval training, short or long duration. And I always do that test. It's simple, it's easy. I have number. Let's start from there. After that, I test sprint, 10 meters if I have equipment, and maximum sprinting speed. Why? Because I train different type of player differently. For example, if he is mainly fast twitch fiber player, he'll probably do more runnings as athletes who can perform explosive runs more often, and it's easier
Yeah.
for him. And the opposite way also. After that, I also use some postural, I would say postural diagnostics, just to see if he has some restrictions, especially in hips, ankles, and some test for mobility of generally the whole body. So based on that, I give him some strength exercise to, I will say, adjust it if it's necessary, or
Yeah.
just to see in which lane he does not train. For example, a lot of players have problem when they have to train in frontal lane. So that's why I do this, I would say, postural diagnosis. And also I track everyday body weight, mass of the players, and also uh, if I have equipment, I will do reaction drills, some just to see central nervous system. I don't do jumps because it's too hard with 26 players in Group A. If I'm in Group B, it's elite, and I have everything, and I also have 2 or 3 coaches with me who is strength and condition coach. Then I will do, I would say, jumping tests in vertical and horizontal lane to see the explosiveness of the player. And I will do precisely tests for resistance training, because when we do in a gym, it will be amazing if every player has his own, I would say, RM or I don't know, power output or so. But for that part of the testing, I need to have, first of all, facility, equipment, and a lot of staff who will help me. So in
Yeah,
elite,
that's
I
it.
will do a little bit more, but basically, too much testings. It's problem for athletes because we lose time. That's my opinion. Because in football, I can see a lot of data in GPS. Okay, and
Yeah, like hidden monitoring, something like that, hidden testing.
yeah, yeah, like that. And you work in football also for many years. Football is not the type uh, of sport in which you know that he will run, I don't know, straight line, that he will jump 10 times. You never know what will happen.
Yeah,
And every
that's
game
true.
is different. So that's why I test a little bit. But when I program, then I use all the data that I can collect during the week so that I will be sure for the next week or this week that I didn't overtrain or overload them too much or undertrain them. So data that I collect during the week is much more important than just diagnosis process in the beginning or in the half of the preseason.
Yeah, so it's like a combination of testing, but you also are checking the responses from the players, like a agile periodization, and then you plan according to that. Just to get back to you mentioned 13, 15 intermittent fitness test, and I know that just yesterday you and I talked about programming endurance sessions, and this is something that I'm quite interested in the last few weeks, like programming preseason, and you can see a different patterns of some of them are using long intervals in the third week, short intervals at the fourth week, and so on. So when it comes to programming endurance training, after you do your testing, what is your approach, let's say, in the first week of preseason? And then how do you upgrade this quality?
Okay. Uh, First, I will simplify as much as possible. After the testing, first 2 weeks, I will do heat short, heat long, uh, in which I will aim mostly aerobic capacity. With heat short, with heat long, I will do, it's a hybrid like between anaerobic and aerobic capacity. This is 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I will move from the heat and I will do, it's something that I used to, so third and fourth week, I will do just glycolysis, okay, for endurance as a main part of the training. Why? Because uh, in football, when you don't have enough focus and when you lose your ability to breathe and when you are in the red zone or I would say in the black zone, then you
Yeah.
cannot perform. And that's why I want for athletes, for football players to experience that at least 4 times in 2 weeks. And I have one protocol that I do every season. It's really
Can
really
you
hard.
share?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you
of course I
share
will explain. Yeah,
some
of course.
things inside? Yeah, perfect.
Of course I will share. It's really hard and duration it's not longer than 5 minutes. One protocol is you do 60 forward backward frontal run. Okay, you have to turn 2 times
Okay.
60, 2 times 40, 2 times 20, and you do it for 5 minutes. You do it full speed that you can hold. Okay, you will start, for example, 24 kilometers per hour, and last 30 seconds you will run, I don't know, 8 maybe.
Yeah.
So each athlete will run as much as he can do it. So this is one type of the protocol, and the second type of the protocol is one with changing of direction, and I use Tabata, so 20-10, 2 times 4 minutes with 2 minutes rest, in which they have to run as fast as possible these 20 seconds with change of direction every 8 meters. and it's completely disaster when they finish that
Yeah, I
two
can
weeks.
imagine.
Yeah, because they are completely dead, and that's all. After that, I have repeated sprint trainings only. I don't do any heat short, heat long uh, in a in a week. I do it as a compensation. We will talk about that later. And
Yeah,
one
perfect.
more thing that I do a lot is apnea training. So it's just for easy aerobic endurance. And I don't do any more endurance because we play football. We have a lot of runs with the ball, a lot of games, small side games, a lot of play, 10 against 10. Or sorry, 11 against 11. I have to count the goalkeepers.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
basically 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, heat short, heat long, glycolysis, and repeated sprint training as I would say three components that I do.
Okay, perfect. It sounds quite interesting, especially the part, that you start immediately with short, long intervals, then you continue with more intensive ones. And just one question to combine it also. Just before a few weeks, we discussed this topic on one webinar, and it was a combination of football games with running. And let's say now you are running short and long intervals the first 2 weeks, and I like that. I also do the same thing, like 2 weeks, emphasizing this quality, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, the same system. But when it comes to games, do you have any particular progression of the football conditioning games? Like when you are doing short and long intervals, you are doing, I don't know, maybe medium-sized games or something like that, or you leave this to the coach?
Well, it's hard to answer uh, with short sentence, but I will try it. It really depends. Small side games, for example, 4 against 4, 5 against 5. I use it for energy capacity, but if I use it, I don't run mainly. In my opinion, it's better for the coach if he wants football. Don't do 5 against 5, 4 against 4. Do a football. Do something that you will use in football. 5 against 5, it's just for strength and condition coach. So
Yeah, like tactical
yeah,
concepts you want to use. Yeah,
when you lose positions. Okay, someone will say I will say to him stay on that position. Okay, then you don't train tactic because it's 5 against 5. It's not 11 against 11 or 7 against 6. You don't have the space, and also you don't do endurance work. So you don't do nothing correctly. So if I do 5 against 5, 4 against 4, it's like main part of the training to do endurance. And usually after that type of work, after that we go to play 11 against 11 because after I do my part of the endurance, coach, you can do some tactical part or you should do it. Sometimes I combine with short intervals because sometimes you have 30 players. It's hard to manage all of them to play at the same time.
that's true.
So
Yeah,
in that situation, I use heat short interval. Why? Because it's the easiest way to manage the intensity, so they don't go high in lactate. So they will stay around 5 because you can manage easily. You don't have change of direction. You do 15 seconds. If you lower a little bit sprint running speed, so heat short it's the best way so that I will not say the word that I want to say so that I do not mess them up.
yeah. Okay, okay. That sounds good. Well, I think that we cover everything that I'm been asked you about endurance programming. Now we are coming to the one topic that I know that is quite of your interest. It's a strength training. And now about strength training philosophy. Let's start again with the preseason and how you program your strength training in preseason. And are there any differences between preseason and maybe in season?
Okay, so about strength training and generally resistance training, I look at that as my, I would say, backup plan. Why I will say it like that? Because if I have possibilities and I have everything so that I can do sprinting on the pitch, that I can do plyometric training on the pitch, I will use gym work just to fill up the gaps that I cannot do on the pitch. In my opinion, that's the main problem in football. They think that gym is superior than the pitch. No, it's the opposite way. So everything that I can do on the pitch, I do on the pitch. Gym is just additional work that I cannot do on the pitch. Why I look at that like this? I do in preseason and in season the same things. I do overcoming isometric so that I can develop the maximal strength, and also that I will say, so that everybody can understand me, I will do isometric training to recover the tendons, because with overcoming iso training, the tendon will get stiff again. So if I work on the pitch and the pitch is soft and I run a lot and I jump a lot and I sprint a lot, my tendon will become more elastic, and in one point I have to recover them with that type of training. Also, the overcoming ISO is in cost-benefit analysis. Probably you will not get injured. That's first thing. And second thing, you will do maximal. So intensity is maximal. You cannot move it. You do the high threshold motor unit. That is the most important part of your fibers for athletes. And you develop strength. That's one thing. And I do it in season and preseason. Second part that I do is, I will say, power training. It's around 70% of 60 to 75% of your repetition maximum. And I do maximal effort explosive movement. And I do 1 to 3 reps. Not more, not too much volume, just intensity. But before that, I do some ballistic or plyometric. So when I cannot do it on the pitch, I go in the gym, do some plyo. After plyo, I do some power with simple exercise like hex deadlift, like, I don't know, hack squat, in which I can jump, and so on.
Yeah.
That's the two main things that I do in football. Why? Because football, mainly 99%, it's high threshold motor unit that will give you result in the game. Okay, low threshold motor unit is for endurance, and you have to train differently. You run for them, but for speed, for strength, you do high threshold motor units. And if I have a lot of sprints and a lot of jumps in the week, I don't do nothing except overcoming ISO, 2 sets, 5 seconds work.
Yeah, okay.
That's all.
Okay, so 2 sets, 5 reps. Okay, so like you said, it's really, well, it's like micro dose, is small volume. And if you need to say, or some kind of fun, that people always check and want to know, what kind of exercises do you use? You mentioned trap bar deadlifts, hex bar squat jumps. Is there anything else that you put in your programs? Let's say maybe some upper body drills or something like that?
So yeah, of course I do some upper body, and in upper body sometimes I do hypertrophy training, because some guys are just too small. I will say it like that. It's not good to say, but yeah, they are too small. For example, tomorrow I have hex deadlift, but it's not the pull movement. It's isometric. I have for the calves. Sometimes it's standing, sometimes it's sitting. I have for long adductors, especially for them, extension and flexion on the machine. I do bench press or some variation of bench press, and I do variation of pull movement, like pull-ups or rowing, and that's it. All the rest of the exercise I do with jumpings and with ballistic movement or throwing a med ball.
Yeah, you keep it keep it quite focused, simple, and I know that these kind of things are quite effective. When you combine it with good pitch work.
Yeah, you know
Uh,
why I sorry, you know why
yeah,
I have it really simple because if I change a lot, I will not have adaptation. That's first. Second
that's
thing
it.
is,
I agree
you
totally.
yeah, and second part is I change sometimes the angle. For example, when I do the leg flexion, sometimes it's almost fully extended leg, sometimes it's almost fully flexed leg. So I want to adapt my hamstrings. Uh, I will say generally in all part or all the movements. So when leg is in flexed, fully flexed, or when it's fully extended. So I play with angles more than I play with exercise. So sometimes it's hex deadlift to pull because I want to engage much more quadriceps. Sometimes it's mid-thigh pull. So quad will not work like in hex deadlift in which you are really, really
Yeah,
down. So that's the thing that I manage. And one more time I will say, if I do sprint on the pitch, I don't touch uh, legs almost nothing except some ice training. If I destroy the hams on the pitch, I do more quads and so on. So
yeah,
microdoses is everything in the gym.
yeah. And you always check what you done on the pitch, and then you put your gym work around that.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
I especially like the part where you simplify things because when you talk sometimes with coaches and with players, they always want, oh, you only use 3 or 4 exercises. They want, like you change all the time something. Oh, you're not doing this. Well, if you know, like you said, the adaptation that you want to do or to occur in muscles or ligaments, you just use the right tool and do it like you said. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I do quite similar things, and when you have like 25 players, you need to keep it simple and focused. But I think that this topic have drove us to the next one, and I will combine later monitoring topic with compensation session. But let's jump to game day priming. It have been I checked some papers about priming sessions, and you know that some coaches like to do walking in the morning or some mobility work, or maybe they are changing match day -1 according to the hours of the game. These are some of the concepts on of game day. So how do you approach this topic? Like how do you prepare your team and your players for the game day on that particular day?
So the answer is really, really simple. When it comes to game day, usually it's Saturday. Guys, do whatever you like. Just give me points. So basically, I do nothing on that day. I just do warm up for the game, and I give them just information about the night before the game day. Go to sleep and leave the phones. Why I use this approach? Because I'm the type of the person that like to wake up at 5:36 in the morning, and I'm the best if I woke up at that time. I have a player here in my club. Uh, until 10 in the morning, he is like, man, I don't want to wake up. After the breakfast, if we are in hotel or somewhere else, I give them free. Sometimes we go to a walk just to have this connection that we are a group, that we are a team. That's why we go for a walk. I don't do any mobility drills. I don't do any part of, I don't know, warm up or I don't know, to wake them up. I just talk with them, have a good energy, laugh a lot, and let them to focus the best way they can do
On
it.
a
If
game?
they want to eat a lot, well, man, eat a lot if you can handle it. So game day, when it comes to game day, well, in my opinion, what I did the 5 days before I did the game day, I cannot change nothing. I can be
That's it.
just to support them. If they like to, I don't know, to do. I have some players that like to do some gym. Okay, man, you feel it better, do it. If you like to do, I don't know, a little bit run, go do it. I know some
Yeah.
players who will always do 20 minutes bikes. Someone will say, man, 20 minutes of bike, he already crushed his legs. And then I explain them, well, man, last, I don't know, 17 games, he played 90 minutes, all the games, he didn't get injured, and he was
Yeah.
always, I
Like
would
great.
say, 9 out of the 10. So game day priming, man, do whatever you like. It's up to you. Just give me points, be the best, and don't get injured.
So the game day is player day.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
You know
well,
about the Bruyne in Manchester City.
yeah.
He's wearing the headphones until 5 minutes before he has to go on the pitch.
This is his way how he focused. He's a professional guy. He knows what his job is, and he knows what are his routines, and he will give his best there. So yeah, so sometimes it's, you can teach them, show them, they can try, but if they decide, hey, I want to have this routine, that's it. Especially if you are working on a professional level like you.
Yeah,
And
you know
we
what
are
I do? Sorry, I do just one thing.
yeah,
In
okay.
preseason, I give them some tools. I explain them that tools, and you can
Yeah,
try it on yourself. In preseason, sometimes I do, I don't know, some breathing exercise. Sometimes I do some mobility, just to teach them some tools. And then when we start the season, man, do
yeah.
whatever you like.
So this is the things that are existing that exist. You can try it. You can select, choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's it. That's it. Perfect. And we are coming to our last topic. Well, I will try to combine these two ones. It's compensation session and monitoring. Why I combine these two things? Because compensation session sometimes it's very important to monitor these players to know how to load them. And my question is, how do you explain yourself the concept of compensation session, and how do you, let's say, decide which guys needs to run more, train more, or maybe not doing any of that?
Uh, well, the part in football that is the hardest to explain to the head coach is this compensation part, because he thinks that if player played only 25 minutes, that he has to run, I don't know, 1 hour. Compensation is like this: you monitor everything through the weeks, every week, every game, and when you have to do a compensation, you have to have some values and you have to know your players, especially if he played the second half, not from the beginning. Basically, if they played 60 minutes, so he started the game and played 45, he don't have any compensation. Why? Because he has warm up in which he do a lot, 20, 25 minutes. He has to play 45 minutes, so it's basically 60 minutes. And the
Yeah,
player
that's
who
true.
will start at the beginning of the second half and play 45 minutes, he will not do a compensation. Uh, Even if he doesn't have values from the GPS that is it's 70, 80%. So I want at least 70, 80% GPS values when he play 90 minutes. Even if he doesn't have them in the one half time, then anyway, I give him free. Why? Because
Yeah,
mentally he is completely exhausted. And also he was on the bench and he started 45 minutes. It's much harder to enter the game than when you start from the beginning. For the players that didn't play or played less, for the player that played less than 45, 30 minutes, I will check high speed run and I will check mainly the sprint distance and how many acceleration and deceleration he had in the game. Why? This is the main thing that I check for every player. Uh, with that variables, I can overtrain him and I can undertrain him. With total distance, you will not miss a lot if he will do, I don't know, 1K less run at 9 kilometers per hour. So these three values I want to fit in, and I want at least 70-80% of the game. So if he managed to have, I don't know, if he ran usually 200 meters of sprint in a game and he played 20 minutes and he did, I don't know, 70 meters, I will do at least 100 meters and cover all other variables, but not that day. The day after.
The day
Why?
after.
Why? Because I have a lot of players on the bench and I have players who didn't play at all. They were, I don't know, on the stands or they were stay at home. So day after, it's better to do compensation because I can do normal training with the ball. I will give them game. I will give them some shooting or something like that. If I do it on the same day, it should be like normal training, especially for the players that didn't play. They will do warm-up, they will do football elements, they will play. And in compensation, I want them to play. I don't want them to just run because it's completely different. Sometimes coach asks me, can I do a little bit run? I don't know, 15-15, like hit short after the game, and that's it. I will always explain him, I can do it. It's better than nothing. But if I do 2 times, I don't know, 6-7 minutes, then tomorrow we cannot do strong compensation. We can do a little bit. If I don't do it today, tomorrow he can do normal training with less volume, of course, and we will do better for them. And also we will show that we take care of them. If we just do some run of 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes, it's just run. They will do it. There is no satisfaction. There is no football movement. There is no passing. There is no shooting. That's why I like to do compensation the day after. I have some training that I usually do for football elements. I ask the coach. I want them at least 20 shoots because you shoot a ball in a game, long ball or something like that. So I give them some finishing. I count the number of shoots, not the time. It's number of shoots that it's important. Also in the small side games or some games I check the time because we know in 4 minutes, I don't know, he will do 20 change of directions, acceleration, deceleration, and this is the part that I manage and coach decide who will play and how they will play.
Yeah, I like the part how you think on the players. It's not just, hey, we will go run. You think about how they are feeling after the game, and then you are putting them next day. So at the game day, you want them fresh so that they can do better session next day. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Because if I do something, tomorrow I cannot do everything.
Yeah, that's it. Because you have some concepts that some of them are covering like intensities on the first day, then they are running or collecting some accelerations and the decelerations next day. There is no magic stick, like you said. It depends on the players, culture, league. So yeah, but this is also one of the aspects that coaches can use. So yeah, I definitely like this approach and how you approach to things. It's quite useful, and I think that our listeners who will listen this podcast will enjoy on the topics because we covered from programming, periodization, testing, endurance strength, now compensation training session, and this is when we come to an end. I cover all of my topics here. I don't want to take too much time of you. And before we wrap everything up, just one more thing from you is what kind of advice would you like to give to future strength conditioning coaches or someone who wants to specialize here? And the second one is, do you have any upcoming projects that you are working on? And where can people find you? Where can people contact you about any of the topics that we discussed today? I hope that this wasn't too long question. If you want, I can repeat it. Now, when I finished, I just stopped. Oh, maybe this was too long,
Yeah,
but
it's
if you
okay.
want,
It's okay.
tell me. I can repeat.
It's okay. It's okay. No problem. I collect all the data that you gave me. So
That's it.
information.
That's it.
Well, basically, advice. I have a few of them. First of all, don't do a training for you. Do the training for the athletes. So that's the main focus. I will explain why. Because you do the training because you think it's good training and you try it or something like that. No, do the training for athlete, what he needs to do. Second thing is don't be entertainment or something like that. Don't entertain them. Okay, be good with them, but training
I
is
like this one.
training. Yeah, do what you have to do so they will be better players. They will be not better players. They will have better abilities to perform better skills. Okay, and the third part is communication with head coach. You are not football coach. Maybe you have a license. Okay, good, but in your staff, if you are just strength and condition coach, talk about your part of the work. Give him suggestion of intensity, volume, dimension, and so. Give him, for example, coach, they will be good if you can do some transition, some tactics, some finishing, some, I don't know, rondos. But don't tell him, hey, coach, today do 5 against 5. No, today do something like give him just options that
Like a
it fits in
skeleton
your,
and options.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then he will decide how he will play. You manage volume, intensity, and you manage player. This is the advice that I will give to every strength and conditioning coach, especially the young one.
perfect.
And
Perfect. I agree on all of them.
that's the advice that nobody gave me in the beginning. I learned it. I had the opportunity to work with some really good, I would say, players, really good coaches, and
Coaches, yeah.
well, time time will teach you. So your mistakes will teach you. Second part of your question was where people can find me and what project I'm into now. So you can
Project,
find me on
yeah.
LinkedIn. Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn and some social network like Instagram. I don't like a lot social network because I don't know. I like to talk. I like to feel the people. You can find me on LinkedIn also, and you can always ask me some advice, but don't go too deep. Advice is something, and give you a solution for your problem is something else. So advice and solution is not the same. I had a lot of questions that they asked for solution. Advice and solution it's different. I'm starting to write one book about football and strength and conditioning football. That's the project that I will hopefully do this year, and some new education, and it will be specialized in program and planning and programming just in football, and some seminars in it will be on site, so it's practical seminar how to do on the pitch, on the field, in the gym with football players, what you have to do if you work as a personal coach, and what you have to do if you work with 26, 30 players. It's different type. So basically, I want to win league this season and to write a book. And this is the third part in which I like to work. It's education. And I hope that I answer all the question in that wrap up that you
Yeah, yeah, you
you put
covered
on me.
you covered all of them, and you have quite big projects for the future. I wish you all the best with them, with the book, with new webinars and programs for the coaches. I wish you that you win the league. So yeah, the next season is the first division, if I'm
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
hopefully,
so
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that. Well, you are on a good track. You are doing amazing things. And again, thank you one more time for your time and spending here with us. Again, I will also say that people who are listening can find Stipo also on our social media, and we will definitely share this with others. And I invite again everybody to check other episodes about our football talks. Stipe, one more time, thank you, and until next time.
Thank you, Marco, also, and wish you all best.